This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Wednesday, January 8th. I'm here with Stephanie, Brandon, Erica. I'm Jeff. Let's dive right in, guys. All right, we got to talk about a Beverly Hills bombshell. You guys ready for this? Oh, that's right. Insiders are telling the Daily Mail that Real Housewife Denise Richards was dating former housewife Brandi Glanville. Not only that, but Denise reportedly stopped filming the reality show when the other ladies exposed the affair. But wait. There's more. Production sources say the whole thing went down on camera, and now Denise's reps are responding. They're telling people she did not hook up with Brandi. And DBL reached out to NBC Universal for comment, and all they could say was, it'll play out on the show. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, but if they said it'll play out on the show, that means there's something on camera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Brandi Glanville, who is notorious for tweeting about everything, so she sent out a few tweets, so I guess we decipher these.
Okay. This was today.
She said, I just got Denise. No, this was in December.
Okay.
And then there was another one. So they're kind of cryptic tweets. But I think context is so important here.
So I just got Denise.
1, blackmail is legal. 2, I have no skeletons in my closet. They're all on the internet. And 3, slut shaming is so last year. So I'm wondering what the context was. Was it, oh, well, you're compromised because you have a very close relationship with Brandi because they all hate Brandi? Or was it, this is this big bombshell that there's this woman and woman relationship that is consensual between two people? Because I don't understand what the...
Well, Denise is married, but according to other sources, she has an open marriage.
Right.
We can't confirm that. But if she was married, that's a scandal, right?
I don't think it's a scandal. Down the street at on Real Housewives of Orange County, those girls are naked, bumping bosoms and making out on camera, and they're all married, and they talk about their open relationships.
I think if it's not an open relationship, it's a scandal. I don't care if it's male, female, male, female.
Apparently it is, you know.
Right.
For reality TV, right?
Listen, bottom line is scandal, no scandal, whoever's it, people are tuning in to see what went down.
Apparently it all went down in Rome, like, you know, Italy is the place of love, so we'll see, won't we?
But look, I mean, this is what you signed up for, right? It's reality TV. You know, if you're a real housewife, you get real drunk and you tell each other's business and you gossip and you act a fool. So you're going to watch now because of it, right?
Better watch out. We got some of those housewives on the show, buddy.
Go ahead, come on in, say hello.
All right. Well, let's get to this next story because it's very intriguing.
Yes, it is.
Jillian Michaels is in some hot water with Lizzo fans. We're going to tell you why. The fitness guru appeared on BuzzFeed's AM to DM to discuss all things health. But when the conversation turned to body acceptance and Lizzo, Julian wasn't so positive. Let's take a listen.
And I love that they're putting images out there that we normally don't get to see, of bodies that we don't get to see being celebrated. And
but why are we celebrating her body? Why does it matter? That's what I'm saying. Like, why aren't we celebrating her music? Because it isn't going to be awesome if she gets diabetes. I love her music. Like, my kid loves her music. But there's never a moment where I'm like, and I'm so glad that she's overweight.
And Julian, she's controversial, but does she have a point here?
I think she has a point. In a way, because she's a trainer. She deals with people of this body, and I get it. It's 2020. No one wants to hear that. Everyone wants to talk about love your body, love yourself. But she makes sense in a way where if she was to develop diabetes, we wouldn't be celebrating that. She would, if a doctor came up to Lizzo and was like, "Hey, your cholesterol or your blood pressure is high. You should work out more, lose weight." Kind of like, i.e., Rick Ross. He was having those seizures because of his weight. I get it. She's loving herself and all that, I get that, but for Julianne Michaels to be a trainer, Jillian Michaels to be a trainer, I get why she is saying that.
Well, I'm glad that you brought up the person who would be most important in this equation, and that's a doctor, which she is not. She has no idea what her health is.
She's a personal trainer.
I know a ton of personal trainers.
But she's certified. She ain't on TV just because she looked good.
Okay, but she's a personal trainer. She's not a doctor, and she certainly doesn't know anything about her personal information. So it's completely inappropriate for her to single out someone and say something about what the potential for their health is. I think it's so offensive in so many ways, because you talk about slut shaming was so last year. Fat shaming was like 5 years ago. So it drives me crazy that somebody can sit there and single out someone and talk that way.
How is that fat shaming, Erica?
Because she's talking about if she was talking in general, that's fine. But she's not a doctor, and she's certainly so she could fat shame her.
Steph, get in here. What do you think this is? Do you think it's? I'm kind of leaning towards Brandon's side on this one.
I think if she didn't mention Lizzo in particular, and she just said, people can be overweight, and I would love to help them get back on track, or I'd love to help them look at their diet, their exercise. I think that's really okay. I think it's really not kind to point out one particular individual, especially, let's be honest, most of America looks more like Lizzo than they do Jillian. Let's be real here. This is more, and obviously, everyone's health, it's very, very personal. How do we know that Lizzo doesn't have some kind of health issues that are very private that she doesn't want to talk about? How do we know that Jillian does? Just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're really, really healthy. So, I understand if she'd have said, there are certain body types that I would love to work with more or motivate or encourage, I think that's really okay. But I don't think it's okay to pick out one particular individual, especially when that person is very clearly happy with their body. She said that over and over again, and she is an icon to so many girls that are in a very similar position and body size to her.
I think all three of you guys are right. I think all you guys have a great point. So good discussion. All right, guys, now it's my turn, because my friend Justin Bieber, well, this isn't good news, but it is. He just confirmed he is battling Lyme disease. He posted a TMZ article on his Instagram today, and Justin also said he had a case of mono that affected his skin and brain function. Check out this photo from September. He had an IV in his arm, and everyone thought it was a vitamin drip, but it was actually a medical treatment. So people were writing him. I was reading the comments and what he posted today. People were saying it looks like you're on crack. They're making fun of the way he looks, and it seems like he was battling Lyme disease, which I didn't know was incurable. I also learned that from his page today as well.
Right, and chronic. It's interesting because we're just learning so much about Lyme disease now. I remember a couple seasons ago on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Yolanda Hadid, they basically said she had they said she had Munchausen's disease, and she was making up all these symptoms, and it turned out that she has Lyme disease, and so do some of her children. So it is very serious, and if it goes undetected, it can be deadly.
Yes, yes.
It is something as well that is incurable. So once you do have Lyme's disease, it is a condition that you have for life. It can make you incredibly fatigued. It can make you feel extremely unwell. And if you do have Lyme's disease, you do have to live your lifestyle in a much more healthier and restricted manner. I've got a friend that has it, and they nearly died. It's not like a light-hearted thing.
Right.
But obviously, that once you do receive medical attention and you get it under control, it's nothing life-threatening. But in those initial stages of contracting it, you do need to see a doctor. It is serious.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Erica, because he's coming out with the YouTube series, documentary, and I'm pretty sure that he's going to talk about this and speak about this.
He already said he was.
And this is going to bring awareness now. It's kind of like Selma Blair with the MS, or Michael Fox with the MS as well.
There you go.
Now we'll be able to see Justin Bieber talk about it.
Michael J. Fox has Parkinson's.
There you go. Who's the one with the MS?
You said Selma Blair.
No, but she got therapy from somebody else. I forget what celebrity that was. I'll look that up.
But good points, buddy. I hear you. All right, guys, another one of my guys, Larry David, is talking style in the latest issue of GQ. He says you don't need to wear more than one nice piece of clothing, And he talks about the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which comes out, of course, on January 19th. And he also said this. Check this out. When I was told there were moments in the show that made people cringe, I was shocked. I'll tell you this, if something made me cringe, I don't think I'd put it in the show. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, I'm a huge Curb Your Enthusiasm fan, huge Larry David fan, and I watch the show sometimes to go to bed at night. I go back and watch some of the old episodes, and I'm like, you can't say that anymore. And he's been doing the show for a long time, so this goes back years. But he says some things early on that I don't think you could say today.
No, that's comedy for you. Comedy is very
involved. You're right.
Yeah,
so much.
It's very current, and you have to be very smart. Comedians are very intellectual because you have to understand in today's climate what is acceptable, what's not acceptable, and what people will find funny, especially when you're walking that line. But there's very little comedy that stands the test of time, to be honest. Like, at least not a full set.
Right, especially generational. He's older. I mean, we've had some people on the show that are a little bit older, and sometimes they think you could say things, but you can't. Sometimes I say things that I can't. I know Brandon says some things that he knows he can't, but the younger generation is the judge now.
I still say it too, and Larry David still put out that comedy.
You're right,
because at the same time, we were just celebrating Ricky Gervais's monologue for the Golden Globes.
I don't think he was anything offensive.
He was pointing fun at people because of their characteristics, not necessarily their like race or culture, though. It's a bit different.
And sometimes I'm confused.
Did Brandon just put himself in the same lane as Larry David?
You'll see.
Because you know Larry David got something that you don't.
What's that?
That's job security.
Hey, I'll be all right.
I still say it.
I'm going to
run the parking lot.
Right.
Brandon got that double breast on, man. I like that.
Brandon's
I like
got
that.
freshness.
Looking
And Brandon's
sharp.
not PC at all. So.
I like it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, buddy.
Job
Erica,
security.
We had 2 stories for me. This one's for you. Jeopardy's greatest of all time kicked off last night, and the biggest winners are battling it out for $1 million. Twitter went wild when Alex Trebek said the word bitchin'. Speaking of generational, let's listen.
Hey, babe, I made you a bitchin' mixtape to play on this Sony item that dominated the 80s and began in the U.S. as the Soundabout. Ken.
What's a Walkman?
Yep.
And things got a little heated between champions when Brad Rutter and James Holzhauer were between them two. Just watch.
James.
What is Philadelphia?
Yes.
No need to rub it in.
Now we have a little spoiler alert if you're already watching. Ken Jennings won that first night, but the tournament continues until one player wins 3 games. So this is just the beginning. This could go on. Erica, you love this. I know we spoiled this one for you.
I know, because I'm so far behind. Like, normally, we don't get home in time. Excuse me. I do have
You're all choked up about it.
We don't get home in time. Okay, my prediction is Ken takes the whole thing. Yep. And the only reason why, because they're all so great at the game, is that Ken is a calm, reserved player. And I think people really got into James because James has a bit of bravado, which we're not used to seeing on Jeopardy. People tend to be a little bit more like Ken's demeanor. And I think that takes a little bit of energy. So if Ken is going to win, which I believe he will, he's going to just edge him out because he's playing the calm, cool, collected game.
Do you want to take someone just because?
No.
Oh, I thought you wanted to go against Erica a little bit.
Our Jeopardy expert right here.
He loves it.
Call the bookie.
I'm pulling for Brad. He's the underdog. I don't know if he's going to win one, but he's the underdog there. DBL is live, and coming up, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are giving up their royal duties. Would you ever step down from the monarchy? We're sharing your comments coming up a little later. And Twitter is not happy with Nicki Minaj's new wax figure. Stephanie explains next in What Up Wednesday. Is that a wax? That's not a wax figure.
It's not.
So a lot of you are commenting about Lizzo and Jillian Michaels. I just, it just
Jamie Lynn
felt
Sigler?
to me.
That was one.
Yeah.
It was a dude.
It did feel to me like it was an opportunity for her to be controversial at someone else's expense, and it just felt unnecessary. So if you're gonna take someone as the subject and make it controversial and throw them under the bus to do it, I do have a problem with that, especially when it comes to health and fitness. I competed in fitness competitions and was in that world for 5 years. I was not healthy, and I looked like everything that people were like, oh, this is what you should look like when you're on a stage. Physically, I looked the part. In terms of my internal health, I was literally like rotting inside. Like, it was not good, and it took me years to bounce back from that. So the idea that if you are a plus-size woman, then that automatically makes you unhealthy, more so than a person who looked like me at competition, I take issue with that. She has no idea
sounds good.
what's happening with Lizzo and her health. And I really think it's shame on her because she's not a doctor. And she is a trainer, but I could be a trainer in 6 weeks, let's be honest.
But that's her profession. So
I
like,
understand,
isn't it
but she's not a doctor.
I hear you, but isn't it a little more than just like saying an actor saying that? I totally get your point.
But she's still not a doctor.
But that's her livelihood.
But that doesn't make her a doctor.
You're right.
And a doctor diagnoses diabetes, not a trainer.
Yeah,
she is out of her lane, completely out of her lane.
Do you think she's completely healthy? The way
I
she
don't
is?
know. I've never seen her charts, and neither has Jillian Michaels. That's the point. Stay in your lane.
All right, Stephanie's coming up, maybe to lighten the mood. Yay! Let's everybody yell awkwardly. Yay!
How long have we got, David? Welcome back to DBL. Guess what time it is? It's only What a Wednesday, and it's the best place to get the hot takes on even hotter celebrity gossip. So let's start with Julianne Hough over in LA, and it looks like her marriage to hockey player Brooks Laich is on thin ice. So Julianne has not worn her wedding ring in a while now. So there was no ring when she rang in the new year with Carson Daly, no ring while she was decorating a Christmas tree, and hubby Brooks is ringless now on Instagram too. So here's what's up. They've been married for 2 years, and let's be real, that's like 8 years in Hollywood time and a million years in Kardashian world. So does no ring mean no marriage? Let's be real, we've got no idea, but it's not looking so peachy keen to me. All right, and next up is more my area of the world, Berlin. I'm not from there, but it's closer to England than here, where once again a Madame Tussauds wax figure is a total fail. So this time Nicki Minaj is the poor victim. The figure is supposed to be her in the Anaconda music video, but this is more like an Anaconda don't. I mean, here's what's up. This is pure embarrassing for the person who made it and the poor people who are spending money to go look at it. I mean, seriously, guys, can we just be done with wax figures? What is the point besides them being totally creepy? Who's with me and just melting them all down? They're a bit creepy. Okay, and finally, the Queen of Soul is set to get a movie, but Aretha Franklin's family is not too happy about it. So the film will star Jennifer Hudson as Aretha, which is awesome, but Aretha's youngest son says everything is being done against their wishes. However, Aretha's attorney says that this is just a cash grab by a son. So, here's what's up. We'll be honest, J Hood is no stranger to family drama. She knows it well. And I think she should have reached out to them just to show a little R-E-S-P-C-T. Eric would do that better than me. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that's surprising, but there were some issues with the estate and the family, which, I mean, that's the reason why you need to make sure that all your affairs are in order.
And you see that all the time. Like, they come out with a movie and the family not like it. Like Green Book, the family had a problem with that movie. So I wonder how this is going to play out in court.
It's always tough. It's always tough when someone passes on. I do want to go back to Jillian Michaels for a second.
Oh, go on.
Did you ever forget your ring, Erica? You're going to say
Julianne
no.
Hough.
Oh, Julianne
Hough. We had the Julianne Michaels discussion. And,
I do think sometimes people just don't wear their rings.
sometimes mine, I forget it, and I'm like hiding it so no one thinks I'm divorced or something.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When people start posing like this, and there's repeated photos of them posing with their hand exposed, that's always an indicator.
Yeah.
I personally don't forget my ring, but I have gained some weight since I got married, and it really doesn't come off.
Wow. honestly, he's been saying some unusual things too, like New Year, new beginnings, like kind of alluding to it on Instagram, so I don't know. I hope not, but you never know.
All right. Another great job, Steph.
Good job, Steph.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
I work hard. What's going on, DBL Nation? It's your boys Leo and Travis here to talk about 1917, everybody. We got to see an early screening of it last night, and this is, as you know, directed by Sam Mendes, who did American Beauty and more popularly Skyfall, and I think it directed Spectre as well, or at least wrote on it too. But 1917, man, initial thoughts, what'd you think walking out?
What a technical achievement.
I know.
It's something I've never seen before. What are you thinking?
I mean, that cinematography is absolutely captivating. fascinating. I mean, talk about integrating the audience and the viewer into the movie.
You're in the movie.
Yeah, this was one way to do it.
You are going to World War I. You are in the day of the life of a soldier, a young soldier at that.
Yeah.
And it really showed you the young soldiers. You are white knuckling it the whole time. You don't even need popcorn. You don't need a drink. You are going to be in this.
You're going to be in for it. I mean, let me tell you guys, the cinematography is done in what's called, or at least a style that's called one take, which makes it look like it's simultaneously one camera shot the entire time. So you're following these characters literally, physically through the camera angle. So it actually feels like you're in the movie. This is so much a one take film that there are over 500 extras in the movie. I mean, one scene had around about 500.
Yeah.
It's because, you know, we're going through trenches, we're going into no man's land, we're going into all these areas that require a lot of people, and it is just, it's phenomenal. It's like you were saying, we're in the war, we're integrated inside of it. Man, what did you think of that score?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. The sound is great. The way they did their costumes, the costume design was awesome. In the trenches, the mud, you know.
Completely agree. Set design was great as well. And DBL Nation, weigh in down below, and we'll see you next break.
Welcome back to DBL. Well, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are doing the unthinkable. They are stepping back as senior royals. They made the announcement on Instagram. So, DBL Nation, it's time to hear from you. Would you ever stop being a royal? Woo-hoo, that's the question. Why don't you kick it off for us, Steph?
Well, Lacey's written in on Twitter, and she says, Princess Diana was his mother. It makes sense he has mixed feelings about the ideology, tough word for me there, that killed his mom. It's straight from Shakespeare. Okay, so Lacey, I think you're absolutely right. We all know that Harry has had a very tough time growing up with the paparazzi. His mother lost her life to that. He's had such a restricted life, which he's kind of always slightly rebelled against. And obviously now he's seen the same repeated patterns with his own wife, Meghan. She's constantly getting trashed by the press. She can't do anything right. So, you know what? I think he's doing the right thing for not only himself, but his family and his wife too.
All right. Michelle from Twitter says, if I was a royal, I would never give up the title or the privileges. You're a liar if you say otherwise. Yeah, I'm with you, Michelle, because I look at this world and you get all these opportunities and all these different things that your everyday person doesn't get. So you get a chance to change the world in a way just because of these privileges that you get. So I think of it as something as, if I had a problem with something, then I would start foundations and help people in that manner. But I don't think I would ever strip my title.
Eddie on Facebook says, Meghan has corrupted his mind. She's been a whiner and complainer from the moment they got engaged. Her family is right. Meghan turns her back on family. Eddie,
Why'd you give her
I'm
a
just
picture?
gonna have to say, it's interesting that you feel that way when Harry completely strikes me as someone who, if he had the choice, he wouldn't have been a royal to begin with. And the reason why he picked Meghan was because it seems that they are very like-minded and they are a team.
Yep.
So anything that you have to say about Meghan clearly reflects on Harry, and I don't think she does corrupt him. I think that she emboldens him to be more of who he always was, and that is a partnership, and that's the reason why they don't need all the perks and privileges, because their status and power will carry them through to their next chapter. They don't need that posh prison. I wouldn't want it either, to be honest.
Yeah, Eddie.
I wouldn't.
Thanks for writing in, Eddie. We'll be
Thank
right
you,
back.
Eddie. Love you, buddy.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
I'm very...
Y'all hear them sirens? Oh my God. Yeah, I hear them sirens. I'm the beauty police, guys. It's Jeray for the Slay, and today I'm here to clock all of those beauty things that you guys are doing that are just wrong. Plain old simple. So today, we're going to be talking about only using a makeup wipe to wipe off your face. Bam, we're gonna have an edit right there. Anyways, so when you just use a beauty wipe to wipe your face off, you're really not doing much for your skin, guys. So many gals I know are just going to bed at night and they have those cute little makeup wipes on their bedside and they wipe off their skin and they take off all their full coverage makeup and then they throw that wipe to the side and they think they're done, right? You're wrong. You need to be arrested right now because you're doing a harm to your skin, and we're not gonna do that anymore, guys. So instead, what you should be doing is actually going through and cleansing your skin afterwards. Oh my gosh, how crazy. Who would have known that? Me, okay? Now, why do we do this? There's so much dirt and grime left over on our skin after you use a makeup wipe still. So many people don't think so because you have all of those cute little stains on your makeup wipe afterwards. No, honey, that isn't all that's on your skin. There's so much more little different dirts and grimes and pieces of that long wear 24-hour stain makeup that you have on, and that cheek stain too. And don't forget about that Urban Decay lip stain as well. That's all on your skin still, girl. And we have to make sure that we're really taking care of that and getting it off. So go ahead and take your face to that sink, put it all in, and wash your face. Say it with me now. We're gonna wash our face. Yay! Now, maybe you need help finding a cleanser. This is where I come in. If you have dry skin, make sure you're using more of a milk or creamy cleanser. This is gonna be great for you. If you have more oily skin, try out a foam or an oil-based cleanser. Either one could be a little bit better for you. Now, if you have combo skin, good luck. I don't know what to do for it, just kidding. Try out a little bit of everything, and this really goes for any skin type. You gotta try out a little bit of everything to see what's gonna be best for you. Now, until next time, don't be making any more beauty crimes, and we'll see you next Thursday, guys.
As the flu spreads across Texas and beyond, doctors have a dilemma, figuring out what is the flu and what is vaping illness. So why are the two so easy to confuse? Let's connect the dots. According to the experts, the flu and other respiratory viruses look remarkably similar to vaping illness. That includes shortness of breath, night sweats, low oxygen levels, and spots on the lung picked up by x-ray. Adding to the confusion, people who vape heavily are more likely to get the flu. So if you show up to the doctor's office with those symptoms and test positive for the flu, they may give you some Tamiflu and send you home. But if you have the vaping illness, you need much more aggressive treatment and hospitalization. Right now, the CDC is telling doctors that if they have a patient who vapes and has flu symptoms, to treat them for both.
Welcome back to DBL. I had to sneeze, but then I couldn't. Then I looked at a light and it made it worse. Who's on comment duty?
I've got some comments because we've got a 50-50 split with Erica and Brandon in regards to the Jillian Michaels scenario with Lizzo. So Veronica says she's with Brandon in that Jillian Michaels and Lizzo's story. Are you going to tell me that Lizzo isn't overweight? So she's team Brandon. And then Damien is team Erica, saying Erica's a point. It's not right for Jillian to be chiming in where she doesn't need to be.
Right.
So we've got a 50-50 split, DBL Nation.
Not really her lane. And I do want to reiterate, you cannot judge someone's health by aesthetics alone. Like, I know I was the least healthiest when people were complimenting me the most on my body. That is not okay.
Yeah.
So I think that you really need to stay in your lane when it comes to things like that, especially when you're talking about people's health. HIPAA is HIPAA for a reason.
Brandon, you gonna stick up for yourself?
I'm just saying, like, that's why NFL linemen, when they retire, they lose all that weight to try and live some
Fat
sort
Joe's
of
not Fat Joe anymore.
Fat Joe's not. He's healthy.
Just Joe.
Just Joe. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
That's true. He is just Joe.